How should I use eponym, eponymous and namesake? I was in London and visited the Tower Bridge. Afterwards, I went to a pub called the Tower Bridge. Just to be clear, the pub is named after the bridge. Which of the following are correct? The bridge is the eponym of the pub. The pub is the eponym of the bridge. From the pub, I could see the eponymous bridge. After I saw the bridge, I went to the eponymous pub. The bridge is the namesake of the pub. The pub is the namesake of the bridge.
I found a couple of entries in the New York Times after deadline column useful. The first. In precise, traditional usage, an eponym is someone or something that gives its name to something else. So eponymous describes the giver of the name, not the receiver. A restaurateur named Joe Smith could be described as the eponymous owner of Joe Smith's restaurant, but the establishment is not Mr. Smith's eponymous restaurant. The opposite problem often occurs with namesake. That word properly describes the receiver of the name. A grandchild may be the namesake of her grandmother, but not the other way around. So the only ones of your examples that have the correct use of eponymous are those that describe the giver, the bridge, and not the receiver. And conversely, only in number 6 is namesake used correctly. The second entry is more pertinent to the use of eponymous. Sometimes I quibble over words we overuse. Sometimes I complain about words that are misused. And sometimes I take issue with words that seem pretentious or contrived. Then there's eponymous, which could fit any of those categories. In precise use, an eponym is someone who gives a name to something else, and eponymous describes the source of the name, not the receiver. More often than not, we and others muddle this distinction. And often, there's a way to say what we mean without using eponymous at all. So let's use it sparingly, and wisely. Here. Edit, for reference, the entry for eponym from wordsmith.org, one of my favorite resources. Eponym, eponym, noun a person, real or imaginary, from whom something, as a tribe, nation, or place, takes or is said to take its name. A word based on or derived from a person's name. Any ancient official whose name was used to designate his year of office.
Personally, I'm only comfortable with 3 and 4. In this context, I don't think it's important which was named first, but I would think it odd if, say, someone reviewing the album Peter Gabriel were to mention the eponymous singer. So far as I'm concerned, such untitled albums are always called the eponymous album, by so-and-so. I see some people claim that eponymous should only be applied to the original, source-named person or thing, not something subsequently named after him/it. In the spirit of Samuel Johnson's I refute it thus. My metaphorical kick at such pedantry is 89 written instances of eponymous taxa, where taxa is the plural of taxon, a taxonomic category, as a species or genus. Almost all those instances will be from educated academics, and obviously they're talking about categories named after the person who first identified them, not the people themselves. For good measure, here's an eponymous pub, the Crooked Billet, which gives its name to a group of nearby houses called Crooked Billet. I see no reason why either the giver or receiver of a name must be an actual person in order for eponymous to be validly used. But for me at least, only words can be eponyms, and only people can be namesakes.
Correct examples. Berkeley is a city on the east shore of San Francisco Bay in northern Alameda County, California that is the namesake of 18th century bishop and philosopher George Berkeley. 18th century bishop and philosopher George Berkeley is the eponym of the city of Berkeley, California. They cannot be used interchangeably. Namesake indicates a place, thing or person named after someone, something or someplace. Eponym specifies a place, thing or person that something, someone or someplace is named after. I am a professional copywriter and hold a degree in journalism.
None of these seem to be proper, given that eponym and eponymous are used for people or things that are named after a person. Since the Tower Bridge is not a person, these terms should not be used. The Tower Bridge is, of course, itself named after the Tower of London, But its name is not an eponym either, since the tower is not a person.
I believe examples 1, 3, and 6 to be correct. According to Webster's Eponymous, definition of eponymous by Merriam-Webster. www.merriam-webster.com/dictionary/eponymous. Merriam-Webster. Definition of eponymous, of relating to, or being the person or thing for whom or which something is named, of relating to, or being an eponym. Therefore, what brought me here was trying to think of the word for my eponymous great-great-grandfather for whom I am named.
If you want to support the channel, just consider subscribing.